And in the first sentence, I say to you, I assure you that this video is not a boring history lesson. Rather, it is a lesson on how to regain control of your life and your day. The question that puzzles millions is not why he is on the currency, but how one man managed to live 3 lives in a single lifetime. How did the son of a poor candlemaker who left school at 10 become a scientist, a writer, a diplomat, and an inventor? While we, in the age of technology, cannot finish a single task without getting distracted, the secret does not lie in some superhuman intelligence. The secret lies in that he possessed a psychological algorithm for dealing with time. And today, we will hack that algorithm. In the next few minutes, I will give you the 3 missing keys that will transform you from someone always busy with no accomplishments into a calm, focused productivity machine, and I will reveal the trick practiced on you daily to keep you poor in attention. So if you feel your day slipping through your hands like sand, and that you work a lot but accomplish little, you're exactly in the right place. Get ready because we are going to reprogram how you operate forever. Let's begin immediately by breaking the first barrier, the defensive and offensive system. Imagine with me the scene in Franklin's bedroom. The clock points to 5 in the morning, darkness wraps the city of Philadelphia, the weather is cold, and silence is absolute. Franklin wakes up, splashes his face with cold water to shock his nervous system, then sits at his wooden desk under the dim light of a candle and writes in his journal one question that determines the fate of the next 24 hours. What good will I do today? Consider this question carefully. It does not ask what the world wants from me. It does not check the mail to see the problems. It decides from an attacking stance how it will shape its day. It is the action, and the day is the reaction. And now let us look with painful honesty at what we do. You open your eyes in the morning, and before you leave the bed, your hand automatically reaches like a programmer for your phone. You press the screen, and suddenly a waterfall of information explodes in your face. WhatsApp notifications demanding urgent replies, perfect pictures of your friends' lives on Instagram making you feel inadequate, news of disasters on the other side of the planet raising your stress. In the first 3 minutes of your day, you handed the keys of your mind to strangers. You allowed algorithms to determine your mood and level of anxiety. You started your day in a defensive posture. And it is impossible to build wealth or achieve glory while you play the defender who takes the hit. The first step in Franklin's system is to regain command. Tomorrow morning, I challenge you to leave the phone in another room and start your day with the attack question. What is the one thing I will accomplish today? One single thing that makes you take the initiative. And here we reach the most dangerous point in the video. The point that will make you reconcile with yourself and stop self-flagellation. The point that all self-development coaches overlook. We think Franklin was a flawless robot. We think discipline means being perfect all the time. The shocking truth is that Franklin failed. He set schedules and did not stick to them. He became lazy and wasted time. But the difference between him and us is the way he dealt with that failure. And this leads us to the story of the spotted axe, the story that will change your view of failure forever. I want you to live this cinematic scene with all your senses. Imagine a simple man entering a blacksmith's workshop in the 18th century, holding in his hand an old axe whose surface is rough and full of rust. He said to the smith in a confident voice, "I want the surface of this axe to be shiny like a mirror. I want it perfectly flawless." The smith looked at the axe and said, "Okay, that's possible, but on one condition. I will press the axe blade hard against the grinding stone, and you must turn the heavy wheel yourself." The man agreed and began the work. Hear with me the sound of metal rubbing against stone. An annoying screech and sparks flying everywhere. The wheel is stony and very heavy. The man pushes with all the muscles of his arm. Sweat pours down his forehead and stings his eyes. Hour after hour he turns and turns while the smith pressed. The man stopped to catch his broken breaths and looked at the axe. He found that a small part of it had become shiny, but it was still full of black spots and deep scratches. The smith said to him sternly, "We are not finished yet. Turn the wheel more and harder. We must remove all these spots so it becomes perfect as you requested." The man looked at his hands roughened by blisters, felt the pain tearing his back muscles, then looked at the axe again, wiped the sweat from his brow and smiled a strange smile and said to the smith, "You know, sir, I think I love the spotted axe more." This sentence is the secret of true greatness. Franklin realized that the pursuit of perfection is the first enemy of accomplishment. He realized he was human and that he would get tired and fail and be lazy on some days. But he decided to accept the spotted axe. He decided that continuing with flaws and scratches is a million times better than stopping to wait for a perfection that will never come. Our great problem is not that we are undisciplined. Our problem is zero-sum thinking. When you err once and pick up your phone and waste an hour, you beat yourself up and cancel the whole day and say, I have failed. You want the perfectly shiny axe or nothing, and because of this perfectionist thinking, you end up with nothing. Franklin taught us that discipline is not to fall, but that discipline is to fall in the morning, then shake the dust off your clothes, and continue your day as if nothing happened. Discipline is the art of embracing the spotted axe. And now that you have the attacking mindset and have reconciled with your flaws, how do you work? How do you turn hours into real output? Here we reach the third key, the delusion of busyness versus depth of focus. Did you know that Franklin, the man who helped build a nation, worked only 8 hours a day? Yes, only 8 hours. From 8 to 12 and from 2 to 6. The rest of the day he ate and listened to music and laughed with friends and slept deeply. How is it possible that he accomplished in 8 hours what we cannot in 16? The secret lies in the intensity of work, not in its duration. When Franklin closed his office door, the outside world disappeared. There was nothing to cut the thread of his thoughts. He entered what we call today the state of flow, where all the brain's electrical energy concentrates on one point. While today we live in a state of shards, you sit to work and you hear a notification tone, your mind leaves the task and goes to the phone. You return to the task and remember an email you didn't send. You go to the email and find an ad that tempts you. 3 hours pass and you think you have been working, but in truth, you have not worked a single minute deeply. Modern science tells us a terrifying fact. If you interrupt your focus for 1 second to glance at a message, your brain needs 23 full minutes to return to the same previous level of depth. Do you realize the catastrophe? You are not working. You are collecting crumbs of time that have no value. The market does not pay you for sitting in front of the screen. The market pays you for the rare value you produce. And rare value only emerges from the womb of deep work. And because I know that theoretical talk is easy, and that applying this isolation in our annoying world is almost impossible, and that phone notifications are designed by psychological engineers to steal your attention, I designed a practical solution I called the Deep Work Protocol. It is not a book you read, but a mandatory step system I personally use to shut down all digital and physical distractions around me, to enter Franklin's mental state within 5 minutes only. This protocol is your survival tool in the attention economy, and I have placed it for you in the link below. But deep work needs another thing we all flee from, something we consider an enemy, and that is boredom. In Franklin's schedule, you will find time periods labeled with one word: thinking. He sits alone silently. Sometimes he would sit naked in front of an open window. No book, no work, no conversation, just him and his thoughts. Today we have a phobia of silence. If you stand in a supermarket queue for 2 minutes, you bring out your phone. If you stop at a traffic light, you take out your phone. We are terrified of being alone with our minds because silence forces us to face ourselves. But Franklin knew that the thoughts worth millions, the inventions that change humanity's face, never come amid noise. Inspiration is shy. It only comes in emptiness. It only comes when you allow your mind to be bored. Boredom is not an enemy. Boredom is a signal from your brain telling you it has finished consuming information and is now ready to produce ideas. If you want to be creative, you must learn how to sit in a closed room alone and allow boredom to squeeze your mind until golden ideas come out of it. Now go and look at that banknote one more time. Benjamin Franklin was not an extraterrestrial being. He had the same 24 hours that you have, and he had the same human brain. The only difference is that he designed an environment that forced him to greatness and built the mindset of the spotted axe. You now stand before two choices and no third. Either you close this video and go back to browsing short funny clips and forget everything we said and continue blaming circumstances and luck, or you decide to take the initiative now.